Hey peeps, Pinkolol16 here on another video of my own to commentate over. We're up to Super Mario 64, The Curse of Invincibility Frames Part 11. This is the start of Arc 4, and this is also the start of the 4th dimensional bit. This also means a new intro, and it basically means they're in a new place. There's so many characters that the YTR have, and having their counterparts, it completely doubles the amount. So, the intro will basically tell you how much that is. And it's annoying in some cases. I'm basically trying to show everybody's characters and their counterparts who they're related to. All the counterparts are trapped except for a few of them, so it's self-explanatory who they'll be saving. It's once again music synced because I like that stuff. Now it's just some of the actual characters that are not trapped and won't get trapped, since their focus was the last few parts. Yoshima's pretending to stare at a star. I can't get it. And yes, I'm continuing the 4th dimensional 4 puns. Ha 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 ha. This arc is also 4 parts in of itself, which is why I needed to be careful how I structured these. This was the first video of the series in which I used Mario 64 Movie Maker for all of the scenes. This will be the first part, and all of the parts after this now use the revitalized Super Mario Movie Maker for the scenes. Beforehand, I was using the freeze camera code, which wasn't faring well in most of the scenes I was using it for. So since it had come out, and since it was what everyone had been dreaming of since the announcement had even come, well, who was I to not use it? So all the other videos look pretty outdated in comparison. It's dimensional energy because of the fact that we're coming in close connection with our actual counterparts. Not the same stuff the others are feeling apparently in part 10 and beforehand. This is the worst this is the worst script text ever, but it was because of how bright the text was against it. In Sony Vegas, it was much easier to see it. Well, hi again, it's been a while. I'll read it out in case you can't see it, because I picked the worst color for this, and especially on such an environment. What's with the influx of people? She's asking. Oh, literally tons of people just ran into the castle right now. Why? Dimensional knowledge! It's starting to affect her. What is she saying? Why do I feel like I should know this? Because we're dimensional counterparts and I already know this, it's beginning to affect her and she's beginning to know like she should know something. Well, many of the 40R went in and never came back. She's saying they went into the paintings and then never came back out because of the fact they got trapped. That's why she's here alone. And that's exactly why my character wasn't feeling anything beforehand, because of the fact that everyone else was trapped and not my character, so that's why. And that's why beforehand, when they were sensing them, it was a different kind of sensing. Everyone is basically sniffer dogs in this darn arc. First dimensioners, since they're of the first dimension. fourth to first. That's why. If this was Starman 3, he'd call it the normal world, even though for them it's not normal. The DST, which I need to properly explain, because of the way Mario explained it before, made no sense. That's what was affecting her literally 2 seconds ago. You'll notice a thing that I also use with my counterparts' color code. Starman 3 and the others would tend to warp their color code around to certain degrees, like, oh, Starman 3's color code is just reversed in certain areas. Meanwhile, Quario 50221 Quario is just Mario's yellow and white. Reversed and in certain places, because he doesn't have grey or blue. My fourth dimensional color code, which I'd made beforehand and I gave to Starman 3 to use because I'd already made it beforehand, was running on a different type of theory to be different from everybody else. My fourth dimensional counterparts' color code is running on a variety of different warps. The placement of the overalls on the shirt are the same, but they're of a lighter color. The purple of my normal color code's gloves is changed, inverted to greeny mint, and the grey on the shoes is on a similar warp theory to the rest of the things except for the gloves, and is white with a blue tinge instead of grey. The reason I did this is because I wanted the color code to be different, and considering the fact that the color code kind of glows, she better fits into this environment as a color code than that of Starman 4. You can take a look at Starman 4 and it kind of looks, oh, you could just place that in Super Mario 64 and it would be fine. But, like, you look at this and it's like, oh, this color code was designed for this area. While I'm telling you, oh yeah, Starman 3 used it incorrectly, this is exactly why I designed it. It's fine for use in the fourth dimension, and it's exactly why I designed it that way. Or pick the colors that way. It kind of is design anyway. We had a period of time like that as well, where our bunch, the fourth dimensional counterparts, couldn't get in because of Arc 3's everyone being trapped problem. We tested various times until I thought it was a dimensional thing. As in, everyone in the first dimension, aside from a few people, were trapped. Connection of the story. Also, I'm still testing masks, considering I can do a better job now with Mario Movie Maker. You must have freed them, obviously, so we all managed to get in soon after. I'm reading this out because, yeah, I picked the worst text color for this. We freed them in Arc 3, which is why they ran in now, so we all managed to get in soon after into the paintings. But then they got trapped and affect them in the reverse way. So here's the story. Whilst the YTR were trapped, the 40R couldn't get in the paintings. When the YTR got out of the paintings, the 40R could get into the paintings. When the 40R got into the paintings, the energy affected the YTR. So essentially, the 40R had already felt the energy that the YTR are feeling now. But again, due to the way the energy is affected, they didn't know that their counterparts were having the energy until they had the energy themselves later on when the counterparts went into the levels later. Weird mismatch, but if you think about it carefully, it does make sense. Assumingly, the STR you're talking about would have had the same release. So when the YTR was freed, the Star World ones would have also been able to be free. But now that the fourth dimensional ones have gotten themselves trapped, now both the YTR and the Star World Rangers are affected, but in a different way. The YTR are not being... The YTR can go into the worlds, but they now have an energy around them. It's due to the way the dimension, which dimension is affected and how that dimension affects the others is the reason. So because the first dimension has the most priority, that's why the Star World ones couldn't get into the paintings. But now that the fourth dimensional ones are trapped, because of how the fourth dimension is structured, it's only letting off an energy to the other ones. Weird dimensional theory, yes. The energy is a warning signal, that's what it is. Because we sensed you here just as you sensed our warning. Both energies are different. This happens more often than it should, constantly saying that the fourth dimensional one's constantly saying that they're the first dimensional one's counterpart. So I wanted to put that creatively in. I have an example of it later on in this very video, but back then, and still now to this day, I am and was sick of people constantly saying, "Oh yeah, I'm your counterpart." So I wanted to make sure they were saying it in a more normal fashion than just saying it in the middle of the sentence. Take notes, Starman 3. I'm saying I know, right? I have a plan. You brought everybody here, didn't you, since they all ran in before? Everyone's essentially going to be sniffer dogs. Because the energy will get stronger the closer they are to their counterpart. So they'll be able to tell if they're actually saving their counterpart. So yes, everyone's apparently saving themselves. Everyone here should be able to sense their counterpart using both energies. The one that senses the dimensional counterpart and their warning signal. And they should be able to use both to track down the others, free them, and then obviously help the plan proceed in the process. The energy was a warning signal. I'm going to read it out, but it's not gone. You haven't got it as much because I'm still here safe. Essentially, I'm talking about the energy that's causing the two pinks to know that their dimensional counterparts talking to each other, not that they're trapped, which is the other energy that the others are feeling. But the others should be able to sense their counterparts and rescue them, however that works. By sensing the energy. Both energies. Because of the way the cycle and this dimension is well handled. Starman 3 likes to take credit for things, so I put it in the script. We have a plan to start, she said before, but first I'd like to listen to what's really going on. She wants to know because the dimensional knowledge hasn't fully kicked in yet. She says, "You're me, right? You're probably hiding some big explanation in there or something." And she's supposed to know because of what she literally just says right there. You're me, right? What? Well, I barely know anything. I guess that's a downside to dimensional problems. It's because of the fact that there's like the dimensional equivalent of jet lag. She literally doesn't know. Though Foron did ask why this was happening, so I guess some things happened in order. I was trying to imitate Mario with the thing of, oh yeah, the dimensional events do happen somewhat. Someone would be proud, someone would be staring at this in what mode? Basically the exposition. And a reminder to the audience, since this part took a bit longer to release from 10, I think this was at the very beginning of 2015 when I released this. Okay, so what's the go? She wants to know more. I would, obviously. I'm you. It's a remark because of how the script is. I didn't want just expositional lines like how Starman 3 does it. He never has short lines like this. And considering the way I speak, and how my counterpart would speak considering she's the same person, this is exactly how I would need to structure it. This was another example of how I would structure lines so that some would pop in while the others wouldn't. So like that whole line would be a script in the script document itself, but in this it's two separate lines, which would be two separate text events. One very short, one a little longer. Zabe was meant to be in shock. He's never been to the fourth dimension before in great detail. I don't know if he was in the fourth dimension, but even if he was, or even if he wasn't, it would still be surprising because of the way that his personality is. Here's the example of the scene that usually happens between a counterpart and the normal version. Who's this, if you couldn't read it? Oh, for 8, his counterpart was mumbling around in there for some reasons. I'm not sure if I should have said fumbling, but mumbling might have made more sense considering that in calls Zayd used to go sometimes for literally no reason. So mumbling made more sense. This is me commenting on this particular general kind of scene that happens too often. These meetups happen way too often for their own good. Yes, I do put satirical remarks in my script. Considering this is me, it makes the most amount of sense. Okay, for Aid and Zay, maybe you could go to the basement. I was splitting pairs up by areas. So after this first bit, you're not gonna see me and my counterpart's character again for a bit. The thing is, it's easier to script myself. That's why. I don't want to favorite myself, but it's difficult. I think we can handle the outside pretty well until then, shouldn't we? I'm reading this out. Obviously. I really should have put a better song in this scene. Back then, and this was supposed to tie into Brandon's role originally, they were supposed to have a crush on me. Yes, this is hinted at, but it's never going to actually be shipped. It's a hinted secret that happens in this particular shot, And that's all it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. So let's tell the others the plan, which is going inside and telling everybody what's going on. You're going to be a sniffer dog for the whole time. It's not exactly worded like that, but it's technically what's happening. You can see it out here better, so... Usually Enzo would maybe come up to me for maybe something completely random or sporadic that wouldn't usually relate to what we're talking about, and it kind of still happens in conversations now where he'll just randomly jump around. So that's why I was reacting the way I was. I'm trying to say it's working. Nice masking, old past self. I think this was Luigi Fan's cover of the song. I wasn't like averse to using remixes of their thing or covers of the songs if they fit a scene better. This was done on purpose. Enzo was put in the fire world and Zor was put in the water world. The respective opposite of each other. That's supposed to be the point. And you'll see various references to it in this particular part. One of those references is in fact the thumbnail for the video. So yes, they happen in direct opposite with each other. The unusuality is because dimensional similarity theory. While Enzo was saving hunters in Isidro in part 8, he had jumped into this level to test his freeness, I guess. Yay, custom eye emoticons! That's supposed to be rainbow and he's supposed to be part transparent. Because of the energy in the area. And he's losing energy secretly. Rainbow is supposed to be the fourth dimensional troll brew, so he's still trying to troll Enzua. Rainbow is similar to that of Trollboo in terms of the fact that they're supposed to be jokey trolls and not mean trolls. He's not, but it's generally the whole point. Why is he going to collect the coins, is what Rainbow is asking. They still don't understand. Haha, and he's in the water level where he's saving Enzur. It was supposed to be a joke that Enzo made up that Starman 3 continued on, that I continued on in a better way. Making myself appear is tiring. So he's basically gone now. He's at the outside bit. In most of these circumstances, I actually went all around the level and collected 100 coins, and then would just film myself getting the star in a separate recording. So these times would actually be legit. You never know it though. Yes, I collected the 100 coin star with a face like that. Jeez. It's a jokey taunt between the two. I'm sure he'd be very grateful for this in comparison to what Starman 3 would do with the two in terms of this kind of situation. To jump in the water. He literally gets jump scared for literally no reason. So I thought I'd randomly decide to do it. In story, where it would make sense. And it's provided inspiration for me for the future, apparently. He's confused because there's two of us. And he literally just said pink and both of the names are pink. I'd like to, this one's harder to read. I'd like some attention too though. It's like we never communicate, because whenever the dimensional counterparts would communicate, they'd never communicate to the fourth dimensional ones. That changes. It's the same song, but at the cut of the scene, it turns down because it's between them, not us. So no, that's not your voice. That's not your volume slider being stupid. That's a choice by me. All ragey and stuff. The punch being so big, it's so difficult to mask shots like that. Enough of saying, oh yeah, they're counterparts bit. And the audience should get it too. He finally escaped that box he was trapped in. Die, because he's a ghost, and of course because he needed to get to the fourth dimension. And you go to the fourth dimension through the game over area, so he needed to get there at all. Because of Rainbow being here, he wanted to do the same thing. Dimensional counterparts. Rainbow's still stalking him even here. The banter between the two was so fun to script. Also, I wanted them to follow them, but think of the fact they're running that way. So now they're gone and we're gonna go to the next part. Think of the fact that some time might have passed. Like 2 seconds. It's so hard to make characters actually size properly in comparison to each other, so I usually end up freeze framing and then sizing them properly in this shot. I will say though, it is a very pretty texture pack. That looks so wonky in a 3D environment, but there's only so much you can do with a GIF. By the way, I made that walking GIF. I'm saying that, well, not me, my counterpart is saying that the Quario 501 went in there. They're not in the same direct counterpart levels as their original. So like, they're not in this, so like level 1 is not level 1 at home, so they're trapped in places, but I decided to put them in random places. He said he'd try if the jumping in worked. He was around here, so essentially Quario was here, but then he jumped into the painting. And he does, because of the way the energy is reacting. Maybe the energy knows who to target or something. It's just a quote on how the energy seems to be perfect in timing. Cartoon logic. What's what for one, she's suddenly noticing the energy's affecting her too. We get the point about the counterparts. That's essentially what the scene's trying to tell everybody, is that I'm not going to go on about the counterparts so much, because this is exactly why. I make consistent points about this. Yip's too difficult, so I just make him vanish. Mario Star also feels the energy because it's the first level and there's so many people, so I decided to put so many people in the first level of this place too. Ha 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 ha. Not the same people though. And it wouldn't have been able to be the same people because there weren't as many YTR ones in Bomb and Battlefield. And in story it makes sense for them to be saying this about 3 times because again, they're characters in the story. Quario Star went here too, in shock. Because how many people went in that specific level? Yes, a level where I have to script 8 specific characters. An utter nightmare for me. This was also the beginning of when I downloaded all the rest of the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon soundtrack. I only had a small P amount before. Now I have the whole thing. They met each other before, but Yip hasn't seen his counterpart or her before. This is in direct relation to one of Starman 3's videos, which I haven't commentated over yet at this recording, but it was a video where he forced Fawn and Sinbad, I think, to meet their fourth dimensional counterparts. But Yip wasn't involved, so that's why I script Yip like this. And yes, Fawn gave me the sprite. It was, I think this is supposed to indicate glitter around the nose. I've dictated it as canon now. It's in every sprite now. The dimension's shiny, so it makes sense for this to be all shiny too. She gave me the sprite, and it's all reversed similarly too. And Yip and Quip's little references are in reference to Yip's trapping in part 10. QS says up there somewhere, which means that they're up on the hill, you know, talking to each other. They're down behind that hill, in that beach area. Some others are here, which are their counterparts. Mario Star didn't end up in the right position, but this wasn't due to Vintinka's interference. This is because I needed them to spawn in different locations. Mario Star is what Corey Star says. Also, this was Starman 3's updated CC, which he gave me, and because of the fact that he did it the black wrong, I updated it. Or, it wasn't really wrong in relation to Mario Star's original code, but again, since I updated Mario Star, I needed to update Corey Star to be the same. I don't like 0000 black unless it was properly designed decision, so since it's supposed to be black, it's a better black if it's shaded and matches the way the rest of the model is shaded. There's a reason why Mario himself doesn't have any black specifically as black on him for a reason. And I'm not talking about the mustache, that's a texture. You can see a coin in the distance over there! Ha 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 ha! So yes, I literally ran around the level as Fawn collecting 100 coins. You never saw it though. I tend to think everyone has a shared coin count, so that's how this is working in this general universe. There was no gift for Quip, so I just had him stare like that. It's yes, a recolor of Yip's sprite that I made. And I still made this little glitters cannon. Shouldn't they come with me? I have an idea. I also decided to give Mario Star the star radius thing due to the fact that star is in his name and he had like 9 elemental stars or whatever. So again, considering affinity with the stars, it made more sense again to give Mario Star the radii thing, radius thing in the star power. Not every character was going to be given this. There was certain rules I put on. So right now there's 4 characters that supposedly have the power in universe. Starman 3, Zaid, kind of, Luigi Fan, and Mario Star, and each have different levels of the ability. Starman 3 having the most, and I've shown that twice. Yes, in case you weren't wondering. And Mario is going to explain this due to being very close to Starman 3 in story. That's how people would know of it. Ha 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 ha. Yes, I had to resize it. Because there's so many, I needed to have some teleport the others out. Utter nightmare to script, really. The 4th dimensional one would take the 4th dimensional one out. Ha 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 ha. Technically, Fawn could have just warped it out with her, but I didn't want to do that. Show off the fact that Mario Star is Mario Star. Ha ha ha. Let's get them out of the scene, I said. Yes, since they found their counterparts. And yes, I did get the choreo color code. I got it off of Starman 3's pack, but it was so accurate. I think he actually got it from the actual person anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. And yes, I made the glitters canon. I've had 3 or 4 sprites shown already. They said us, so it's a joke. They're kind of kid-like, so I thought, hey, thank you for saving us. And then they'd be like, wait, we said us. What? we're getting ourselves more closer than we realized. That cartoon thing. Let's get them out of the scene. And I didn't mind them commenting out like 15 times on this because of the fact this was the plan. If they're saying it, that means the plan's working. Oh, I only just realized the script line's down below. Maybe somewhere out there maybe somewhere out here, then you can save your 4D counterparts. That is so bad, honestly. To actually look up these names, by the way, because of Into the 4th Dimension only bringing them up once. I had to actually look these up either through the wiki or actually going to the part itself and going back through the preview and actually making sure the continuity linked up. I'm not gonna have the 4th Dimension where I call it the Skyland Resort. I'll call it that, but my 4th Dimensional counterpart won't call it that because that's not normal to her. Luigi has been here before, but my counterpart would have had no interaction with him before this point, because of the fact that my fourth dimensional counterpart never met him. She would know of Farigi, but not his counterpart. I also had to get FF's counterpart's color code off of Mario himself too. Again, let me repeat, the fourth dimensional texture pack is a beautiful texture pack. It's a recolor, yes, but what can you do with a texture pack? He doesn't know his name. He knows who he is because he's famous. Co-star, however, not so much. It's only because of relationships, not because I hate these characters. I was about to reckon a lot of things Mario made up too. The first one will be in part 12. And they met the direct opposites of each other. Remember what I said about Pink14, the fourth dimensional counterparts barely interact with the first ones? Well, this was an example of how I could do that. Even if it was in a complete different way. Star Root ends up, when you freeze it in certain positions, it's very difficult to work with, so getting angles to work here, and along with the way I intended them to, was a bit of a difficult thing to do. The sad part is, how many times I had to re-record this, I'd already collected the coins. So it was quite annoying having to refilm this scene. So I didn't actually collect any coins, but I needed to show him running around. The script said that we needed to be running around, even if he collected a coin or not. So actually, the piranha plant in that scene has actually got his coin already collected. 4 of us here, because this is the 4th dimension, and there's 4 of them in the level currently right now, and their whole dimension's about 4. Ha 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 ha, do you get it? Am I setting up a good joke? I don't know. That's a different piranha plant. That's when I actually went around the level and collected 100 coins. This was so difficult to film. Because of the mask. I think it was a script line someone had said in one of Mario's videos that went around this place. Someone was like, wandering around here gets boring, so that's kind of the continuation of that. If indirectly. I don't need to show the star scenes anymore. Stop forcing me to do this. Because you've seen it now by like 15 million times. I wanted to stop it at that point. that's just an ending point. See y'all, have a good day, peace. And when I next see you, we'll be commentating over part 12. So see you then.